Happy New Year from the Career Growth Made Easy podcast and your host, Craig Ansell. We hope you had a wonderful New Year's Eve and a great kickoff and start to the new year. I can't believe it, but we're rolling right into 2022. Absolutely amazing. For today's episode, number 84, it's titled New Year, New You, Repurposing Your Skills. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Career Growth Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Craig Ansell, and our first order of business, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. I can't believe it, but here we are rolling into yet another year. So for today's episode, New Year, New You, Repurposing Your Skills. What are we talking about exactly? You've heard many of the New Year, New You speeches. It's time to start exercising. It's time to be on a new diet. It's time to do all these new things. But that can become overwhelming, especially if we set our sights too high and if we just strive for something that's almost unreachable. Now, I do recommend having stretch goals, something that you're not comfortable with achieving, something that's slightly out of reach so that it pushes you. Absolutely agree with that. Those are called stretch goals or stretch targets. But what we're talking about today with the subtitle, Repurposing Your Skills, is to look inside yourself. What skills might you have picked up outside of your work, outside of your job, that can now be repurposed and used to your advantage in your workplace? Maybe it's something that you love doing. It's a certain skill set that you have. Maybe you didn't realize you're great at reading. Maybe you're really good at problem solving or puzzle solving. Do you have a particular affinity for exercising? How can anything like that help you? The sharper you are and the faster thinking you are, those things can be true benefits helping you at your job. Think about the things you've done outside of work, like I mentioned. Where have you volunteered? Where have you helped out? Maybe didn't consider it formal volunteering. Have you been involved in your community at all? Maybe you're part of a church. What type of groups do you belong in? This can be an episode that can really make you think, but I think it's a good idea as we're into the new year with the New Year, New You concept. So, stop just for a moment, whatever you're doing, and just clear your mind if you can. If you're driving, come back to this part of the episode. But my point being, what truly excites you? What do you think about and you kind of get a smile on your face? Is it something related to a work skill you've picked up? Something you do as you volunteer? Maybe there's a particular hobby or skill set that you really enjoy doing. If nothing comes to mind, perhaps you might want to think about when you get feedback from family, friends, or neighbors. Have you ever cooked a dish or done some type of repair on a bicycle or a vehicle, or maybe something with home improvement? Do you have a particular way of gardening or lawn care that just really stands out? These can be particular skills that you break down and determine how they can help you become better at your job. Now that might sound funny, but if you pick it apart, like I said, the details in gardening can be pretty complex. I know I have an absolute black thumb. Anybody that has anything close to a green thumb out there that can help keep your grass green, that can lay out a flower bed or a plant bed and keep it going, I salute you completely. I've tried over and over, whether it's my attached planter on the front of my house or it's the small section we have in front of the house, ground level. I just can't get things to flourish. With that said, you probably know the right amount of water, the frequency, the duration for watering. You probably know the right amount of fertilizers and also what times of year to fertilize. Then there's also the knowledge of what not to do, right? Don't over fertilize, or don't fertilize during this time of the year because. So just to get you thinking about that, in my particular case, I'm very gifted and skilled with repair work, whether it comes to bicycles, automotive environment, or even home improvement. Just overall very good with my hands. And that can go all the way down to working on home computers, all the way up to heavy equipment, like I said, large vehicles. I'm very thankful for that skill set. Now, I would say most of that is homegrown. I just had a curiosity about things and wanted to know why they tick and how they work. It's kind of like when you watch those shows on TV, how it's made or how it's built. I find those fascinating because I truly like to know why things work the way they do and why are they designed the way they are. But I know you might not be like me. Switching the topics around though, what groups are you involved in? Have you volunteered recently? How did those experiences feel? Was there a particular thing that turned you on and you got excited, kind of felt that smile? Or was it the opposite? When you volunteered or worked with someone or something, some particular topic, you actually were turned off and it kind of soured your stomach. Maybe you felt uncomfortable. Now, I don't mean uncomfortable in a way that is because you're not used to the situation or not used to working with those people or that type of material. That's not what I'm talking about. But if it's just something that didn't mesh with you, that didn't feel good, that's what I'm talking about. You might want to note that. That might be an area that you'd like to stay away from. Now, if that type of situation applies to you and that same feeling happens at work, that can be a warning sign. You need to determine if you're really happy at your job or if course correction is needed. And if you actually are unhappy at work, we do have coaching sessions available at craigansell.com, one of them titled Discovery Coaching. I'll work with you one-on-one virtually, and we can break down the reasons why you might be unhappy with your current job role and what ways there are to correct it. But back to the episode, repurposing your skills. Think about the things that truly make you happy and the way you can use them in your job to get ahead. Are you really great at problem solving? Are you really a quick thinker, generally coming up with great answers or very good answers the first time? These can be things to your benefit. For example, being a quick problem solver or a quick thinker could move you into a technical field, because many times we need engineering and technical type responses in quick format and quick fashion. And maybe you'll find that there's a particular area that you're interested in. Could be electronics, could be magnetics, could be insulation, maybe home building, architectural. There can be some areas that you might just find yourself interested in that can slowly bend you and bring you into that new career choice. On the other hand, if you're really good at solving stressful or problematic situations, maybe almost emergency situations, people could have said to you, hey, you're really great on your feet, or you're really great thinking on your feet, meaning you react and respond quickly and generally effectively. That could put you in a position such as what I do, project management. You have to deal with planning in advance, but also being prepared for when those issues or situations come up, and have to have plans in place to solve those issues. I talked prior in an episode, I think it was number 80, about the basics of project management, and one of the discussion points was called risk management. You have to identify potential risks that are going to occur during a project and put at least one, if not more than one plan in place to mitigate or to resolve that issue. Your goal is to lessen that issue or hopefully stop it from happening altogether. However, if there's situations outside your control, you want to put a plan in place to react when those problems happen so you have proper planning, proper budgeting, and the proper resources available, such as weather conditions become difficult to navigate and a road or a bridge gets shut down. What are your backup plans? You can choose to do nothing, meaning just pull the load, pull the project and transport over to the side of the road and wait for conditions to clear, which may be a good choice, but in many times it's not, because your project is time-based, and so delaying projects usually come at extreme costs, and sometimes there's penalties. So anyway, thinking about that, are you a great planner? Do you really think well on your feet? Maybe you find yourself working in some type of emergency support situation, working in fire, working with the police department, working in medical staffing. Could be urgent care support. Maybe you're not interested in all the ins and outs of the medical world, but maybe you're good at reacting and responding to those situations, so you could work in an administrative function of an urgent care or hospital, such as with intake. When you have patients come in on an urgent care or urgent need basis, you could help guide them, direct them, and soothe them. Really, I've been all over the place with ideas today, but that's part of what today's show is about, repurposing your skills. Dig deep. Think about it. If there's any areas in your work life that you're unhappy with or regret doing or disappointed of how that's worked out, maybe you thought it wasn't the right job for you, why is that? If you think about the skills you have outside of work, can you begin to apply those with your day job? Can you help improve your situation for you and for your company? It's a little bit of a head scratcher for sure, but rather than ask you to acquire new skills and go out and start exercise and start that diet program and start this and start that, just dig deep inside and look at all that you've gained, the skills, the knowledge, the special information you've gained over the years, your traits. How do you react to certain situations? What are you better at than others? And dig from inside, dig deep, and consider repurposing yourself, taking those skills and either applying them to your current role to better your role and make you more energetic and positive in your role, hopefully like your job better, or if you've had enough and you're ready to move on, dig deep inside. Where can you apply your skills, your traits, your knowledge, the things that you've done in the past that you've done really well? Where can you repurpose yourself into a new resume and into a new role, possibly within your existing company or even in a new company? So today's episode, number 84, New Year, New You, Repurposing Your Skills, was meant to be a little bit of a blue sky dreaming adventure. But it was also meant to make you a little bit uncomfortable and pause and dig deep inside. Rather than ask you to do more with less, I'm asking you to do more with what you already have. The skills, the knowledge, the experience, the traits, the abilities that you have. Don't push them aside. Don't cast a shadow on them. Rather, uncover them and let them shine. I'd be happy to hear from you if you've discovered a new skill, or rather repurposed an existing skill, or a trait that you've once let go dormant. Please reach out to me on social media at Craig Ansell if today's episode sparked a new interest in you, or you've helped uncover something that was once a passion, was once fruitful in your life, and you're ready to restart it and re-engage. Don't forget to check out our coaching, craigansell.com/coaching. There's 4 types to choose from. One of those 4 has got to be right for you. I look forward to having a one-on-one virtual session with you. Here's to a happy new 2022 and a new year, new you, repurposing your skills. I've been Craig Ansell, your host. God bless you. This has been the Career Growth Made Easy podcast. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel. New episodes every Monday. In the meantime, why don't you follow us on social media at Craig Ansell on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. To book a coaching appointment, download our free guides, or join our email list, check out the links in the description below.